There have been some new updates in the case against the homies, Andrew and Tristan Tate. Those of y'all know I've known Andrew and Tristan since about 2018, before they was famous. Back when I was more famous than them. I am not now. Back when I had more money than them. I definitely do not now. They caught that case, which I believe is a miscarriage of justice. I believe they're innocent. Here's some updates on the case. The Romania Appeals Court ruled that the human trafficking case cannot proceed in its current form due to procedural and legal irregularities. So basically, key evidence, including testimony from the alleged victims and statements from the Tates, have been deemed inadmissible. The court basically says that there's flaws in the indictment, such as inadequate explanations of the charges, basically just unclear details about the case, right? And they're also saying that a lot of the so-called evidence was accumulated illegally. A Romanian court says that the Andrew Tate's case cannot go to trial because of missteps by the prosecutors, but it's not dismissed. That's the only thing. Again, like we talked about last time, Andrew seems a lot more optimistic than I am. The court still has some time to get their shit together and amend the charges, or the case will be dropped. Even if the case is dropped though, the Tate still may face extradition to the UK for separate charges. So there's like mad more cases. So here are a few potential outcomes, right? If the Romanian charges are dismissed, the Tates will likely be extradited to the UK to face allegations of SA and human trafficking from 2012 to 2015. Motherfuckers always bringing up old shit, man. You know, I got arrested in 2012. It was because my boy Brian, he hit me up on New Year's Eve and he was like, yo, man, I need your help. I bought all these 2013 sunglasses and I need you to help me sell them in Times Square. And I was like, all right, the homie needs my help. And but we didn't realize you needed a permit. And we got arrested for that. We spent the night in jail. We were released. All charges were dropped. It was a miscarriage of justice. Just like this case here. I feel you. They tried to catch me up in 2012 for some bullshit too, right? The Tates still deny all charges and maintain all their innocence. I don't know where he posted this. Maybe he posted this shit on Truth Social or Rumble.
Better than a not guilty verdict, a judge has decided there's not enough evidence to even send this to trial. There's no evidence of crimes. None of this makes sense. They printed an indictment with thousands of pieces of paper, which doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add up to a crime. They falsified evidence. The whole thing is garbage. The case is now officially dismissed.
No, at least that's what I read. It's not officially dismissed yet. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but Tate seems a lot more confident than me. Yeah, okay, it's the second time the court returned the case to the prosecutors, who now have 5 days. Yeah, they still got 5 days. This shit happened before, like in November. They're giving the court another chance. Let's go back to what Tate said.
But if there's no evidence to take me to trial, this begs a very pertinent question. There was never any evidence to put me in jail. There was never any evidence to raid my house 5 times. There was never any evidence to keep me travel banned for...
Listen, I'd be pissed too, and I'd be talking my shit, but it seems as if it's not officially over yet.
There was never any evidence to stop me seeing my children. There was never any evidence to stop me seeing my mother when she had a heart attack. There was never any evidence to steal all of my cars and all of my money and all of my wealth. There was never any evidence for the media, which were very complicit, to try their very best to slander me, to bother my mother after she had an operation, trying to make her cry, to make my children sad, to make the women around me sad.
It's not dismissed though. I wish it was, right? Again, this is the homie, right? But it seems like the judge gave the prosecutors an additional 5 days to get their fucking shit together. But, you know, it stands to reason, man. If they haven't been able to get their shit together in the last 3 years or so, how they gonna fix it in 5 days?
This is not just about my brother and I. We're tough guys. Every single person who loves us has suffered, and there's never been any evidence in the first place, like we've been telling you for 3 solid years. We've been telling you this for 3 solid years. This is a bittersweet day. I'm happy because finally an honest judge did the right thing and threw this case out. I am happy because I got to enjoy this perilous path with the person I love the most on the planet, which is my brother Tristan Tate. He is the best brother on the planet.
Shout out to Tristan, shout out to the homie.
And when we shook hands, irregardless of the circumstance, even when we were sitting in a jail cell together, we only laughed and smiled. We are ready to die.
You know, when me and Brian got arrested, man, for them sunglasses, we was laughing and smiling too. I'm gonna tell that story one day because it's hilarious. But every time somebody came in, it was like, yo, what you in for, man? They took us down to Rikers Island for this shit too. Every time somebody, hey, what y'all in for? I'd be like, psst, murder, then Brian would die laughing. Yeah. But our charges weren't as serious as this.
We have been since the moment we were born, and there's no better feeling on earth than knowing you have a brother who's ready to die beside you. We are the type of men who will charge at the gunfire after a quick nod of heads. We don't care. We were ready for 20 years in Rehoboth. We knew this was a setup. We knew this was a Matrix attack. We didn't expect justice at any point during this, but we fought tooth and nail. My legal team and everyone around me said, Andrew, just be quiet. If you're quiet, you can make it go away.
Yeah, I would have advised that too. You know, just shut up. Like, just be cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying give in or admit defeat. But, you know, for me, I always feel like, you know, you never want to get what they call it in football. You don't want to give the other team locker room material, you know. Anyway, but Andrew's a different kind of guy, you know.
Don't make a big noise about it. Maybe we can do a deal behind the shadows. And I said, no.
Nah, I wouldn't have did no deal either. You got to clear your name. So that's right. I would not have been trying to fucking make no deal over that shit to admit defeat. No, sir.
Father did not raise me to have the Tate name tarnished by liars and corrupt actors.
That makes sense because his father's from the south side of Chicago, like me. You heard? So yeah, that's not what we do, man.
I will fight tooth and nail from the absolute day I was first accused until the last day they throw me in jail, and from there, I will continue to fight. I'm an innocent man. I've done nothing wrong. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to do a deal. I'm not going to lay down. I'm going to fight this absolutely tooth and nail. And everybody told me you
This man's a good speaker, man. He sounded like Martin Luther King right now.
can't beat the system. If you make too big a deal of this, you are going to go to jail. And I said, I will go to jail for 20 years happily if everybody knows I am innocent. If everybody knows I've done nothing wrong, I'll suffer in jail. But I will not let people lie and slander the last name Tate when we've done nothing wrong.
I feel that. Never admit defeat. Guys, if you get accused of some bullshit, like especially something so fucking evil like this, R-word, assault, trafficking, always fight that shit because it's like the worst thing you can accuse a man of. Right? You're better off being accused of like murdering somebody than doing the R-word. I don't know if y'all know a lot about prison, but they fuck up people who commit those kind of crimes in prison. Like the worst among us don't fuck with people who do the R-word. If you get caught falsely accused of this type of shit, you do not make no deals. You fight this shit because it is the worst thing a man can be accused of.
There is no such thing as light without dark. The light that radiates from the beautiful brotherhood I share with Tristan must be balanced. And the balance to that dark are nightmares, which I've suffered ever since I was put inside of that jail cell. I still wake up at night looking for cockroaches inside of my blankets. I still smell that jail. I didn't go to jail in England. I didn't go to jail in fucking America. I went to jail in Romania. I was thrown in an Eastern European prison. Do you have any idea the conditions in an Eastern European jail?
I do not. The second time I was arrested was for a fight in Austin, Texas. I was in that motherfucking, man. That shit was fucking calm. That shit was cool. They had us all in the holding cell chilling and they was playing videos. They was doing some psychological shit. They was making us watch videos about people getting R-worded in jail. But I remember like laughing at that shit. Anyway, what he went through was way worse.
And there was never any evidence for me to be there in the fucking first place. I think God is giving me these nightmares to ensure that my wounds stay fresh. Because it would be very easy for me now that the first case has been thrown out.
One thing about Tate, this motherfucker was made for this influencer shit. Like there's music in this video. There's like good lighting. Like listen to the background music. Like he's planning this shit.
The second case will follow quickly. Within a few weeks, we'll be back on private jets, back in our Bugattis, back on yachts, living a good life. We could just ignore all this, live and let live, make it all go away. No big deal, we were found innocent. But I still can't sleep.
Man, he's way more optimistic than me. They still got 5 days. Even then, he still has to face extradition to the UK, where there's separate charges against him. There's some shit going on with the taxes in UK that we're gonna get into later, man. I hope it all gets dismissed. Obviously, you know, that's the homie.
So why would God still be keeping me awake at night unless he wants my wounds to still hurt? Unless he understands that innocent men being told they're innocent isn't justice. Justice is when liars. Justice is when corrupt actors. Justice is when complicit media outlets. Justice is when people who have tried their very best to put an innocent man in jail purely because they don't like what he says. Not because he's guilty, because they don't like what he says. They had no interest in the truth. They just wanted me to be guilty because they didn't like me.
I believe that, you know, listen, there's a lot of this shit, man. Back in the streets, I've heard, but a lot of times when they want to get you, some people, it was not just straight violence or it's not aggressive, it's covert shit where they use women to bring down powerful men. It's an old move.
Justice is when they feel the full weight of the law. And perhaps he has enacted me, chosen me as his soldier because I am 38 years old. I have 35 more years to live. I have unlimited resource. I can't sleep. I'm petty. And I can ensure that everybody who has ever said my name in a negative light regrets the day they were chasing the attention and chasing the likes on Twitter, because it's not going to be worth it. I have done nothing wrong. Hundreds of millions of dollars of compensation are going to flow my way. And it's not about the money. It's about making people understand that just because
hundreds of millions of compensation is going to flow his way. That would be an interesting turn of event if he was able to pull a Uno reverse card on him.
you do not like somebody, just because you do not like the words they say, just because they said some stupid things on the internet 10 years ago, just because they offend you with their jokes, does not mean they should be locked up innocently. All people, including my enemies, deserve a fair trial and deserve freedom if they are innocent.
People do get mad over jokes. Like a lot of shit he was saying was in jest, you know? And I noticed too, man. I made a video about having like black Santa Clauses. People got super mad.
But my enemies are not innocent. And my enemies are never going to apologize. Never going to apologize to my mother. Never going to apologize to my children. Never going to apologize to the people around me who have suffered even more than my brother and I. But they will pay. Because as I said after my first cancellation, it was a fair warning because I am a fair man. I do not hit people without telling them I will hit them first. My unmatched perspicacity, coupled with sheer indefatigability, makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. The counterattack has been long planned. It's quite interesting how much time you have to think and be creative inside of a Romanian dungeon. And now, finally, as the dominoes start to fall, as the house of cards of lies is collapsing,
I'm not laughing at Tate. I'm just laughing at the music. Like, this is well produced.
in real time, the counterattack comes closer and closer to fruition. My brother and I have always been innocent. We were attacked because of our monumental fame and the work we were doing at the time to break the matrix. The reason Trump is in office, the reason everyone's now based in telling the truth, the reason the masculine youth are rejecting the programming, the reason all of these things are happening was by no small part down to my brother and I personally. It's not just us, but we were part of the entire culture war. They tried to get rid of us. They tried to make us suffer. And I promise you, now that the war has been won, and now that my final paperwork is being stamped before I am released, the people who have done this, who have tried...
Yeah, but even if the case is dropped, we still got those UK charges, right? So this is far from over. And I hope those are dropped as well, man. You know, we praying for the brother.
Tried to make us suffer injustice purely because we were trying to do the right thing or going to pay the price.
That was well produced, right? And he spoke strongly, right? But he's way more confident than I am. Like, I wish I could be that as confident as he is about this, but he has more insight on this than I do, right? And I haven't talked to Tate recently. He's been more difficult to get in touch with. Even if this case is dismissed, they are going to face additional charges of SA and human trafficking in the UK, pending the conclusion of this Romanian case. There was also another investigation. The UK, they're not playing around. This happened yesterday. UK seized $3 million over a tax dispute, you know? So basically that the police can seize more than 2.6 million pounds, which is $3.3 million to cover years of unpaid taxes from Andrew and Tristan. Basically, it was 21 million pounds in revenue from their online businesses, including War Room, Hustlers University, Cobra Tate, and OnlyFans between 2014 and 2022. About 8 years, made about $21 million. It's not a lot of money, but you can't live off of it, but it's a start, you know? Nah, that's a good amount of money for them to make. Yo, listen, one thing about taxes, no matter where you at, they're gonna get that money, right? These motherfuckers are in Romania and they still couldn't get rid of the taxes. I would always think, man, why do you go to Romania instead of Dubai? I know why. They did have OnlyFans shit. You can't do that shit in Dubai. People always ask me, Brandon, how come you don't go to Dubai like the other? Because America doesn't have that shit. If you go to Dubai, you still got to pay taxes and you got to live in the desert and you can't curse. Yeah, nah, fuck that. I like to curse and have sex out of wedlock. USA. Anyway, yeah, man, so we praying for the Tates. The shit is not over, but they still got some shit to do. You know, they're doing great. They made some progress, but it's not over. Even this Romanian case is not over. Even if this one does get dismissed, which I'm praying it does, he still has to face the UK shit. I don't know if the tax shit is over because they took the 3 mil. That's why I got out of New York State. They just took some taxes from me. And like, all right, we're square. Like, I just woke up one day and a bunch of money was gone. I didn't pay. So they went and just took it. So maybe it's like that. Maybe they don't have to worry about this tax shit in the UK anymore, but they still got to worry about the charges. Look what he did. $20 million revenue from his online businesses, including War Room, Hustlers University. Here's the thing though, man. He was able to do that because of social media, right? He grew a huge social media following, right? He got super popular. I get it, because I built my businesses off the back of my social media following, right? If you guys want to learn how to grow your social media, if you take it to the next level, really explode it, man. I'm going to be working with some people, taking them by the hand and showing them exactly, working with them, showing them how to grow their social media in a program we're calling Influencer Domination Accelerator, right? It's going to launch at the beginning of the year, right? You don't want to miss out on this. It's going to be super affordable. Click the link in the description. It's going to be the first link. Click that link and register for the VIP notification list, right? This way you won't miss it when it comes out, because the way to make money is online. They make $22 million off their online businesses. I made millions off my online businesses. I don't even think there's such thing as an online business anymore. I think all businesses are online. If you want to buy something, you Google it. If you want to date someone, you Google her. We out here Googling hoes. Hoes is Googling you. Your online presence is huge leverage. And I think the Tates are a great example of that. Make sure you register for that. All right. It's not going to be just for people who want to start fitness businesses, because in the past, I've only helped people who wanted to build a fitness business. It's going to be for anybody trying to grow their following, take it to the next level, explode their social media. All right.